This is the future. Evolution. This is the future. Evolution. This is the future.
Hey guys, how's it going? Matt from Foulball Productions here. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you're doing well because I'm doing phenomenally. Thank you very much. This is the 45th episode of the MFer Podcast. Welcome and thank you for joining me. This podcast is streaming on this channel, Foulball Productions, the MFer Podcast YouTube channel, as well as Rumble, and additionally is available wherever you get audio podcasts. So go ahead, subscribe to me on those outlets, leave a review, and give your boy a follow on Instagram and X for all the latest updates there. Oh, how's everybody doing? How is everybody doing? Sorry I'm late. I didn't mean to be late. Overslept. I know how that sounds. What are you talking about oversleep? It's 8 p.m. How could one oversleep, Matt? Most people sleep at night. You would sleep after the stream, not before. Well, here's the thing. God, my sleep's been shitty recently. This whole weekend. Terrible sleep. Didn't even sleep on Saturday night. And it's not like I was raging. Not like I was having some crazy party. No, sir. Just couldn't. Couldn't sleep. Actually, I think the funny thing is I abstained. And I think that had something to do with my lack of sleep. I was just maybe, I don't know, my body was just, wouldn't let it happen. So then I tried to make up for it last night. Didn't really work. Woke up today all kind of groggy early in the morning. And so I was like, you know what I'll do? Here's what I'll do. Because I had a nice productive day. I'll wake up. I'll do a bunch of good stuff. I'll do all the things, a healthy person does. I'll go to the gym. I'll, clean the house. I'll do my chores. I'll do my errands. All the things a healthy person does. Set up for this stream for you fine people. And then I was like, you know what? I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a nap. I'll take a nap. Went to go take a nap. Oh, that's exactly when maintenance decided to come by. Okay, all right, that's fine. These things happen. They're like, thing we're going to fix, can't fix, but we're going to go get the part. We'll be back. Time's ticking by. I'm looking around like, I don't think they're coming back. So, okay, now you know what? They're not coming back. I'll just take my nap now. And did that. Slept like a rock. So much so that I woke up, saw the alarm, 7:30, snooze. 7 more snooze. And I was like, oh, shit. It's not 7:45 a.m. It's 7:45 p.m. Oh, heavens. Time to get up and do the show. And that's been the story of the past few minutes, everybody. I know that's a thrilling tale, and I didn't mean to get you too excited to start this off. I'm sorry. I apologize for that roller coaster that I just took you on. My bad. But thank you for being here and watching this stream. It means the world to me. Pretty wild weekend, I'd say. A lot of crazy stuff happening. Crazier still, I got something crazy. I got a cold plunge. Yes, sir. Your boy is prioritizing self-care. That's right. I bought a cold plunge in my house, which big move for me. So I've been really in the cold plunge probably the past, it's a year and a half, perhaps year and a half. I think however long it's been. My gym has one, and I love it. It's kind of a pain in the ass though, because my gym's not all that close to my house. I kind of commute to my gym because it's such a good gym, but it's a little far. So I want to do that cold plunge all the time, but I can't. And then for whatever reason, sometimes it seems like whatever days I'm there, they're like, "Oh, we're just maintenance, routine maintenance today, or we can't do it." Blah 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 blah. And so I wanted to buy one. They were a little expensive, but I found a pretty inexpensive solution, and I got one. And I gotta tell you, I love it. I absolutely love having it. This is my office here, where all the creative magic happens. All the genius that flows out of my head that you consume voraciously starts in this room. I know. But in that room is a spare bathroom. So I got the cold plunge in there, hooked up, got it. The unit I got gets it down to about, the lowest I got it to so far is like 39. It says it can do 32. Haven't seen evidence of that quite yet. But 39 is pretty good. And I wake up first thing in the morning, get right in that bad boy. Hold on, sorry. I made that sound like I'm like, yippee, getting in ice cold water the second I wake up. That's not how it goes. I'm like, okay, you can do this. You can do this. And I do. It does take some mental fortitude, but I do it. And it sucks. Excuse me. Didn't want to burp in the mic. That'd be gross. It sucks. It's very unpleasant. It's very cold. And it's not like the most beautiful, lovely wake up in the morning. But I tell you what, man, when I'm done with that 3 minutes, boom, my day is started. Instantly. I'm feeling elated. I got all these like endorphins going. I'm excited. I'm happy to be here. Thank you very much for joining me. But I'm pumped. And it gets the day started immediately, which is such a cool thing to have. And really, I mean, it has changed my entire productivity, like, landscape. It's amazing. I'll just tell you, the cold plunge whole thing with shipping and everything was $550. No small potatoes, but so far, worth it. And if you're interested, I recommend you get one for yourself. Now, this is not an endorsement. No one's paying me to say that, obviously. But you see the chat. But I highly recommend at least trying it out. If you have access to it in your hamlet, in your village, I was trying to think of another word for town that was cute. None came to mind. I recommend it. Just doing it like a little bit, trying it out, seeing what it does for you. It is so cool. It is so cool. It lights you up, wakes you up. It's very, very fun. I would say it's fun. That's my final conclusion. Cold plunges are fun. But all right, well, let's get into some stories, shall we? Enough about me. Let's talk about the absolute state of this world. Hello, Low Spec Linux Laptop. Good to see you, sir. Saw you earlier. We're streaming one of my favorite games of all time, Deus Ex. Good work, sir. That game rules. That is easily one of my favorite games. In fact, I went back and played. I guess I just didn't really. I just wasn't all that curious about the sequels, but I went and played like. I think it's Mankind Divided is the most recent one, which is not like that. Snortopoopus? What? Whoa! Blast from the past. Ho whoa! Snortopoopus Q Burr. Man, it has been a while. How are you, sir? That blew my mind. Hi, sir. Good to see you. But I went back and played that Mankind Divided Deus Ex video game. Oh my God, spectacular. What a fun time. Razor Fist, shout out to the mighty Razor Fist. He did a video that I watched and recommended it, and man, he was right. That game ruled. I was very into that. Played it back to back. Playthrough, another playthrough right through. Outstanding. We'll get to video games later. I don't want to do video games. I don't want to bury the lead here with video games. Let's talk more about that cold plunge. Snorter Poop is Q Bird knows about cold plunges. Am I right, guys? Because he's a polar bear. Whew. All right, anyway. Low spec. It was my first time playing, except... Oh, you've never played before? Wow. God, am I jealous of you? Am I jealous of you, sir? I would imagine some of the gameplay of that must seem kind of dated. I went back for a replay a few years ago, and I remember there were a few things where I was like, oh, that's kind of annoying. Like, door codes. If your character gets a door code, you don't just automatically know it. You have to go back through your little PDAs and find it, and I was like, oh, that's kind of annoying. And I'd say by modern standards, the actual interactive shooting and stuff has kind of gone down. But it's such a rewarding RPG or immersive sim, excuse me. It's such a rewarding immersive sim because as your skills progress in that game, you really notice it. You really feel like by the end you are this just like walking cyborg Terminator, stomping out corruption in the highest levels of the government. It rules. It's so much fun. For that way, it's really gratifying. And there's just so many kind of ways to customize the way you play it. It's good. And the AUGs, they really expanded on that in the Mankind Divided world of Deus Ex. What a great video game franchise. My God, do I love Deus Ex. I need some Deus Ex, like, fan art or something. I need, like, a poster. Like a life-size J.C. Denton, That wouldn't be too much, I don't think. I think that would be great. You're fat, furry, and smelly as usual, Snorter Poopus? That's wonderful to hear. Wonderful to hear, sir. Thank you for popping in tonight. That means a lot. It describes it as part FPS, stealth, RPG, but neither. Yeah, though they came up with this new term called immersive sim to describe these games. And I think that that's a fair term because it's RPG in the sense that there's leveling and skill trees, but this is that game came out in 2000. That's when that was not in every single game. It was relatively novel to see in video games, or at least rare. Maybe not novel, but rare. And so it had that element, but you don't really impact the story. The story's on rails. You're along for the ride, which so I think like an RPG suggests, right? You're playing a role, so you get to impact the story as you want. So it doesn't quite fit that description. So that's why I think immersive sim actually does apply to that particular game. And it does rule. So what else? Oh, that's right. There was another attempt on the former president's life. Well, I just woke up. Guys. I'm a little groggy behind the eyes. But, yeah. That was interesting news. That was a very interesting development. I guess, I guess it shouldn't be surprising, but is surprising. Turns out the other day that there was another assassination attempt on the former president, Donald Trump, at his own personal golf course in Florida and Palm Beach. That's got to be sick. That's got to be sick to have that Mar-a-Lago estate and then have your own golf course like just down the road. That's pretty sweet. I don't even like golf, but if I owned a golf course in South Florida, I'd figure out how to like it, I think. I'd figure out how to enjoy it. But yeah, so I guess there was a there was a would-be shooter, because as it sounds, I don't think this man, if you can call him that, I call him a coward, a treasonous dog. But if what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I guess I do not believe this man got off a shot. I believe he just was prepping for the shot, where I guess he was in this ditch for 12 hours, just laying in the woods, in the cut, waiting for Donnie T to show that gorgeous golden dome of his, and was, I guess, lined up to take the shot. Secret Service saw it, and then just didn't take him out, but pop, 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 took shots at him. They didn't really get into too many details. I read a few articles about this, quite a few, honestly. And you do start to realize that the news is kind of full of shit. You know, I know that's not exactly groundbreaking, but they just kind of, they only have like a few facts you could tell, but like it's such a big story, so they just kind of repeat them and restructure them and reframe them in all their different articles about this particular story. So it's just like I would read the same thing like 16 times, you know, like sometimes like multiple times in the same article, and then in the next article, and then in the next article, and it's like different news sources all kind of saying the same stuff. But yeah, I guess the great patriots, the great Secret Service jumped into action. Wonderful job. Everyone did great. They saved the president's life yet again. Although I'd say the first time they didn't do such a great job. But, you know, they're getting better. They're getting better. Listen, these things take time. It's hard. It's difficult to save the president's life. A lot of people seem to want him dead. I wonder why. Yeah. So a few facts about this guy. I guess, like I said, he stayed in the bushes for 12 hours. He was a online nut, I believe. I believe he was, what's the term? Like clinically online. I think he was a clinically online guy. A never Trumper, anti-Trumper. They try to, I saw this on Reddit. It's hilarious. They try to frame him as a Republican. That's pretty funny. That is a pretty funny statement. So, I in 2008, I guess. When was the first Obama election? Was that 2008? Yeah, it's 2000, right? Or 2007, whatever that was. Whenever that wild time was. I was fresh out of college, and I campaigned for Obama. It's true. It's a fact. I'm sorry to admit it to you guys. I don't mean to break your heart, and please don't hate me. Please stay and listen to my tale. But I campaigned for Obama, believed in him, thought he was the right guy, didn't like Bush, didn't like the war, wanted some hope and some change. I wanted both. You know, I wanted that two-piece. Didn't get it. But that's what I purchased, and keep purchasing, apparently. But that was a long time ago. Now, in 2020, I voted for Donald J. Trump. In 2016, I don't know who I voted for. Jill Stein. It's anyone other than I thought it was all a big joke. But now, I would call myself a Trump supporter. Yes, I would. I support Trump, and I support his ascendancy to regain the throne of the United States. Would you guys describe me as a liberal then? Because back in 2008, I campaigned for Obama. I know the left would not. Oh, no, they wouldn't. They'd call me an alt-right, far-right, blah, 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 blah. So, because this guy voted for Trump in 2016 and then spent the next 8 years in overdrive hating on him, so much so that he donated to the Democratic campaigns literally 20 times, not an exaggeration. Had a Biden-Harris sticker on his car. Talked all this ish online. Went over to the Ukraine to provide humanitarian aid because he believed in this noble liberal cause. Would you describe that man as a Republican? Well, turns out if you vote for Trump once, you're a Republican for life. No matter how much you change your tune for the next 8 years, you're a Republican, according to Reddit and the mainstream media, because they were trying to frame that. They were trying to push that narrative super hard, and it's hilarious. It's like, come on, this guy's a radical leftist. You can disavow him, but are you trying to suggest there's no one on your side that's radical or crazy? I mean, even if we're being like genuine here, even if we're being like super generous and decent, it's like, yeah, you'd have mentally ill people no matter what, right? You definitely would have people who are cuckoo crazy, even if, so you're like, nope, only crazy people on the right. It's like, that's your stance. You're really going to run with that? But it works. I mean, people are so, I was saying this last week, they are so committed to the idea that no, the government's good. No, the left wing is not corrupted. They're the good party. They're the good people, that they will lie not only to others, but to themselves about the things in front of their eyes. You cannot conclude that that man is a Republican without lying to yourself. That is a bold-faced lie. There's a picture of his truck that has a Biden-Harris sticker on it. Now, I mean, you could dispute a few things. You could get into like a few different details. There's things that like I've gotten caught up in. It seems perhaps maybe the Haitian migrants weren't necessarily eating cats. I don't know. Still seems kind of up for debate. Great meme, so don't stop the memes. The memes are terrific. But there's a few things that I've gotten kind of caught up in and got a little, maybe I bought the other kind of maybe reactive propaganda. But I wasn't lying to myself. I wasn't being like, no, I know that's not true, and I'm going to choose to not believe it. I would say that's the only way you can conclude that this guy was a Republican, is to choose actively to lie to yourself and not believe it. And that's just, you know what that is? That's not having integrity. It's being a liar. It's being a liar, and I don't like liars. I like truth-sayers, and I think we got some truth-sayers in the chat. See what they've been saying. D-D-D. Trump's provided another one. Let's go. I mean, yeah. I mean, dude, hats off to the Secret Service to be able to spot a rifle barrel from 500 yards out. That is badass, dude. I wouldn't be able to do that shit. Unless the guy was such a clumsy dork, which is totally possible. Excuse me, again. Because I don't think he's got any training. Well, that we know of. Probably some Monarch training, if you know what I'm saying. But the guy, unless he was just like, oh crap, like it's like a goofy, like a private pile dropping his rifle. Oh geez, oh crap, cell phone goes off, leans on an air horn. Unless it was some kind of situation like that, for him to just be like in the tree line with a black rifle, and the Secret Service were able to see that. I guess that's why they're in that job. But that is pretty badass. And I guess he wasn't all that committed, because the second shots were fired, that guy took off running like, oh boy, this is real now. I don't want to get shot. He's committed though, huh? Laid in that ditch for 12 hours. Probably in his own piss. Perhaps in his own fecal matter. I don't know. We're going to find out. Yeah, I mean, that guy, and then the second shot's fired. He's like, no, never mind. I changed my mind. I'm out. Never mind. The guy does look like a nutbag. I tend to be, I'm trying to not believe things whole cloth unless I have the evidence to believe it. But things like lone gunmen, I tend to not believe it. I tend to trend toward the more conspiratorial view on that. But this guy, it wouldn't shock me. It wouldn't shock me either way, really. It wouldn't shock me if it is the deep state, China, trying to eliminate our sweet, sweet prince there. That would not surprise me. But also that he was just acting alone wouldn't surprise me. And I'm not trying to say that just to be like, I don't want to get demonetized. I'm just saying it like, he does look kooky. He looks wackadoo. Another fact floating around in this story is that he was in a BlackRock ad. Now that actually is not true. Matthew Crooks, the original Trump shooter, the OG, the old school guy, that guy from way back in 2 months ago, where he successfully shot the former president. That guy was in a BlackRock commercial, and that is sus AF. And he is dead, so he cannot speak to any level of, Manchurian candidate-ness. But this guy is very much alive. Shoot, where was I going with that? Oh, yeah, right, the thing. He was, like I said, a nut, a zealot, a true believer. And he went over to the Ukraine to help fight against the evil dictator Putin, Vladimir Putin, in that conflict. Now, I don't really know all that much about it, but I've listened to a lot of Dave Smith, and I feel like Dave Smith's take on it is the best one that I've heard, and I think probably the most historically accurate and relevant to consider. But I don't really want to weigh in because I don't know much about that. Same thing with Israel Palestine. I'm kind of don't like either one of you. So good luck. So he went over there to do this thing, and he ended up in a video that was about the Azov Battalion, which apparently really, really loved, Germany in the 40s. That's what I've heard. That's been the hot facts I've gotten, which is a weird alignment, for the left wing to be all in on, because I thought just one Nazi was too many. But I guess if you have a whole battalion that apparently, likes throwing up that left-handed salute, I don't know. Anyway, he was in a video that was basically humanitarian aid propaganda that was oh, this is horrible, all these things are happening. He happened to be in that video. Now, that is weird. Don't get me wrong. That is weird as hell. But it's not a BlackRock video. So just to be precise, because I think sometimes we are so skeptical of the mainstream media and so anything, they're all bullshit, they're truths on X. And it's it is to a degree. But, not all those people on X, God love those Americans, are journalists. And it's important to remember that. Because sometimes just because you see some videos and you see some words doesn't necessarily mean that's the whole story. And also, for our perspective of being people who kind of, want the truth, want to healthy America, and want to truly be on the right side of history. It's important to remind yourself of that, not to get too caught up when you hear a story or some headlines. It's to remember, just look into it. Look into it. Don't get too caught up. Don't get caught up in the emotions of it all. I think that's just a good lesson, because I got caught up. I saw that video of that woman eating that cat, and I was like, that's, the Haitians are eating cats. And then it's just kind of well, not a whole lot of hard evidence on this one. That's a totally different, pretty disgusting. But not really the whole story. So just a little advice from me to you. From me to you, wonderful people. Ace Mr. Freeze. Hello, sir. What's going on, buddy? Good to see you, my friend. It's been too long. Far, far too long. How's it going, man? Assassins were 4 for 4 in the 1960s, 0 for 2 in 2024. Americans can't aim like they used to. Oh, I don't want to say that because it's going to sound like I'm supporting it. But you're right. Yeah. Dude, Trump tweeting out 0 and 2. Baller. That was cool. You coming around, Mr. Freeze? You coming around to our side? You don't have to tell anybody. You can just vote. You know what I mean? Vote for Trump. Help us out. Help the cause, brother. And then you can go back to being totally liberal. Be like, bro, what? That guy? Are you crazy? No. I keep trying to talk both my parents into it. I'm like, how much do you want? You know what I mean? I know you guys don't really like Kamala, so I'll just buy your vote. And that's a guilt-free thing. That's a transaction, right? You made money. That's the American dream. Capitalize on your opportunities in this America. And your opportunity right here, your son has offered you cold, hard cash for your vote. Please. They have too much integrity. They're not for sale. I tried, guys. I gave it my best shot, but they just won't sell their vote. I don't know. 2 assassination attempts? Maybe my mom's empathy and sympathy will grow. Hopefully. Am I in a swing state? No. No, sir. And neither are my parents. Both of our states are predetermined. I am in Texas. My mom is in New Jersey. They're not. These elections, that doesn't matter. It does not matter. I have never actually lived in a swing state. I've lived in New Jersey, New York City, Texas, and California, and they all are predetermined. None of them are moving. What's up, Cedric Dodo? Good to see you, you baguette. Do you guys know Melanie Mack? Boy, she runs wild with that word on Twitter. It's like her thing. It's like her thing to post the baguette slur. Like, all right, weird flex. I mean, I'm not against it. I'm just like, it's a weird. Seems weird. It's like, okay. I mean, I guess you're like, oh, I'm not supposed to do it, but I'm going to do it even more. It's like, cool. I mean, that's why. I don't care. I use that word. I'm just going to come out and say it. I use that word angrily in the face, in the mirror. No, but like, I call my friends. That's fun. It's a fun word to use. But it's a big word. It's a big one. You know what I mean? You kind of keep it, right? You can't, not every punch could be a haymaker. You got to do little jabs. You got to set up that big bam. That's my opinion anyway. But she's just throwing bombs out there. It's like, okay, all right, cool. You're doing that. And by the way, Chris Wiz, hello. I'm sorry. I didn't acknowledge you. I didn't say hello. Technically Texas. Yeah, that is true. It really is like it's like a force field. And you cross out, you're like, "Oh, now I'm in Texas." Not in Texas here. No. Technically. There is some bleed of the Texas culture into Austin, but yeah, this is its own thing. 100% its own thing. But, the cities in Austin, in Texas, they talk about, like, Austin being this, like, liberal haven, and it's like, it is, certainly. But most of the cities are pretty liberal. Dallas, pretty liberal. I think most of them, the big three, San Antonio, Austin, and Dallas, I think they all vote blue. Majority, I believe. I think it's just that there's just so many rural and suburban Texans that it just crushes what the cities vote for, which is not the case in most of the country. But I do believe that's true. I am not all that well versed, so I could just be making that up. But I'm fairly certain. All that cement makes people gay. Yeah, I guess it turns them into real baguettes, right? Yeah, I guess so. I think it's just that people think they're being compassionate. I really think that's what it is. I think there's a lot of liars. There's a lot of, like, malignant narcissists, dark triads. I think there's a lot of that, but I also think, I just think they just think they're being good people. Because that's how it's pitched, really, and they just believe the slop. Give me some of that delicious, delicious slop. And I think they just think they're being good. They don't understand economics. They don't understand the complexities of this stuff. They don't want to. They're also a lot of chicks, social creatures. They don't want to upset the majority. They don't want to get it. We don't want to upset anybody. We'll just talk shit about them behind their back. Whoa, let's go. Trump is incredible. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Ace Mr. Freeze is about to blow everyone's mind. I won't vote for the guy. Oh, damn it. Well, we tried. Are you in a swing state? Aren't you like in Colorado? Is that where you're at there in Colorado? I believe they are no longer a swing state. Used to be a swing state. I don't know. Hey, man, my offer's on the table for you. I will buy your vote, Mr. Freeze. I will give you hard money to vote for Trump. All right? I'm just kidding, YouTube. I would not do that. That would be election fraud, and we don't support that. Yeah. Chris, dude, your Jordan Peterson 4 commercial video had me laughing so dang hard. Thank you very much. I was very proud of that one. I thought that was a really funny video, and it didn't do all that great. It didn't get out in the algorithm too much, but thank you. I thought it was a funny, clever concept too. I just love the idea of Jordan Peterson's, like, those hard, fast principles, using them to sell you a truck. Orient your life. That's just fun. That was a fun one. I really like that one. Denver, no swing anymore. No, yep, fully gay. Colorado is solid across the board, gay as hell. But yeah, pretty wild story. Both sides kind of predictably acting a little ridiculous, a little gay. But that's pretty crazy. 2 attempts on the guy's life in as many months. That's nuts. And like I said, the other one feels like it happened years ago. Just happened. And they caught him. Tag, my sweet, sweet prince. Pretty rough. Just show my tits and you'll get an algo boost. How'd you know I haven't been working out as much? Do they show? Can you see them? Oh, God. Oh, I need to get some true classics so my tits don't show. Yeah. I feel like that's about it on that story. I'm trying to think if I got anything else to say. No. Will be interesting. What's his name? Ron DeSantis, the old governor down there, said he's going to do an independent investigation to get to the bottom of this, which is cool because he's like, I think he's like on Trump's side again, back to being. Where's what he should have done. I don't think we needed him running for president, but I guess he had to do it to kind of raise his national profile, even though it was a little embarrassing for him with those apparent lifts in his cowboy boots. Man, that was gay. That was pretty lame to be caught doing that. He's like traipsing. He looked like he was traipsing across the stage. It was not a good look for a man to be putting in lifts. But anyway, no, stay the governor of Florida. We need you there, man. You're doing a great job down there. You just stick it out. Keep it up. Moobs. No, I don't have moobs. Shut up. Stop it. Ace, plus it's better to control the weather from the shadows. Yes. The harp system. Yeah, you got to watch out for that. I felt like I was starting to go somewhere with that, and I didn't. Oh, right, DeSantis doing the investigation. Yeah, that's interesting. I hope that I'd like to get to the bottom of it. It would be. It really might just. This genuinely might just be like lone gunman nut thing. I know maybe I'm being naive, but this guy does seem pretty kooky. But his son said he's not a violent man, so maybe he was, Clockwork Oranged into trying to kill the former leader of the free world, and God willing, the next one. All right, anyway, let's move along. Let's move right along. Let's talk. Wait, what else here? What we got? Yeah. Oh, I think Trump is doing something on X right now, if I'm not mistaken. I think he might be doing a live spaces. Matt Taibbi, Donald Trump live on X. President Trump live on X. Are they doing like a pre thing? Yeah, I don't think he's. Maybe he did do it. Maybe he already did it. I don't know. I can't find it right now. So, whatever. Yeah. Okay. Let's switch gears here a little bit. So it appears, folks. Breaking news. It appears that there happens to actually be, in the modern video game market, across platforms, actually a masculine-ass AAA game that people really like, that's being very well received, and that is Space Marine 2. Warhammer 40,000. I'm going to come right out and say it. I'm not all that familiar with Warhammer lore or the like the games in general. I know of them. I know the memes. I know all the memes. Heresy, all that. But I've never played any of it. I've never played the tabletop. I'm vaguely, loosely aware, grim, dark universe, all that. But I'm no Warhammer guy. But I saw, first I think I heard of it was Critical Drinker was streaming playing it. And I was like, damn, that looks kind of sick. I was like, that was fun. And then I heard Shane Gillis on Matt and Shane's Secret Podcast the other day. He was praising it. And I was like, oh, well, if Shane Nauger likes to play it, maybe I'll play it too. It was really just a culmination of I just heard a bunch of different people talking about it, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to give it a shot. And I did just that. And it's pretty sick. It is genuinely a pretty cool game. It's visually incredible, really fun. It's hard. I'm gonna be completely honest. It is a tough game. I like always try to play video games on like slightly harder difficulties, like not usually the hardest, because now they get crazy hard. Like a lot for years, I could probably just play the hardest and just kind of like Halo. I think I'd play Halo like on Legendary, and that was manageable. But now I just feel like there's like this ultra. I'm just like, they're like one save. Like I'm like, that's okay. This is not a job. I'm just having fun. I'm relaxing. So I was like, all right, I'll play on like this just, one up, which is not the fully all the way hard, but just, harder. Whoo, it is hard. I died 3 times playing the tutorial. You're not supposed to die during the tutorial, but it's tough. Because a lot of it, you got these cool bolt goes dunk, 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 dunk. But you also have this like chainsaw sword. And that that's actually takes like kind of like parrying and like sweeping attacks and like different timing attacks. And you're getting swarmed by all these monsters all at once. It's like actually difficult. It's very manly. Not sure it's for you, Matt. Are you talking about Warhammer? Are you saying because I'm a liberal city dwelling baguette? Is that what you're getting at there? Let me tell you, Sinjin Dildo, I lift weights sometimes, and I have before drunken whiskey. Okay, I didn't mean to pull that out. I didn't want to intimidate the rest of the guys here, but I've done that. I've done those things. So say what you will. Say what you will, sir, but I'd say my manly resume pretty lengthy. But yeah, so I've been playing it, and it is good. It's hard. It reminds me of like a few different games. Like it reminds me a little bit of Gears of War, which is kind of like an obvious comparison. A little bit of Doom. If you've played any of the modern Doom games, where it's just kind of like this like rocking action, it's like there's those kind of like kill shots where it's like execute, and he just like cuts his head off and like rips it off, and it doesn't seem to like reward exploration too much. It seems like a very nominal amount of exploration will kind of like reward you. But I always kind of, whenever I play games in general, but especially like first-person shooters, like you're like, okay, let me go run around, see what's around this corner, find like an ammo cache, grenades and stuff like that. There's a little bit of that, but the game is very much on rails. It's very much like go here, kill this, do that, and it's pretty sick. I haven't gotten like too into it, but I am curious. I honestly might lower the difficulty though. I mean, I was playing before earlier today, and I was like, man, I am getting killed a lot. It's kind of cool because like for, I guess, some of the missions, you're like with a squad. So when you go down, the AI squad can like revive you. And it's sick, because you could also play like online if you wanted to like play with like friends. So it kind of has like a Helldivers thing going on too. Not the Helldivers invented co-play. But it's like there's similar things, Space Marines, squashing, like killing aliens. It's sort of, little Starship Troopery. But it's like, man, it's like, it's okay. It's nice to have that you can go down, but phew, it is, it's no joke. It's no joke, but it is, are you talking about, oh wait, are you talking about, oh, you're talking about High Seas. Or are you guys talking about a different game? This game, holy shit. So I went to go buy it yesterday, and I was like, $110? No, what is that? That can't be right. So I guess like on the PlayStation, it like defaults to like the most expensive bundle. So it's like the game, and then I guess like an online season pass, which was like $40. So you have to spend like $40 a year just to be able to play online. Like, Jesus. I guess maybe they're assuming people will just kind of do it one time, but this is the thing with AAA games. You're like, ugh, just grab me by the ankles and shake out every penny. And then there's like, I guess there was like some, ultimate skin pack. You're like, fuck you. Can someone explain to me what is with the fascination of these superficial, like, skins? Who gives a shit? I have never understood why that is appealing to people. Okay, I kind of understand. I used to play a lot of Counter-Strike. And when you pick up like someone's like skinned AK and it's a really sick skin, you're like, oh, cool. And even though it adds no actual like value, like quality improvements to your weapons, it does kind of give you the cachet of being like a little bit cooler. I get that. But like that caveat aside, like I spend zero time in my character creation screen. I like default, go. I don't give a shit. Who cares what your character looks like? Unless it's like a joke. Unless you spend time to make him look like, you know, Elvis or something. That's all right. That's funny. You know, he looks like, you know, the Heisenberg from Breaking Bad. Okay, fine. You know, for that purposes, I guess. But I mean, who cares? Like a game like Fallout New Vegas. You know, you're behind the guy's head the whole time. You don't ever, I mean, and I play first person, so you never see it. Maybe in the kill cam thing, which, you know, if you're a real player, you turn that crap off. But it's just, I've never understood this superficial, like, oh, it's the fucking referee skin. And like, who cares? But that shit is big money. Why? Why are you spending $5 to, you know, oh, my gun looks like a pogo stick. Like, I will never understand that. That always blows my, like, I understand it like a little bit, but for it to be this gigantic market, like I saw some video from a guy. Now I think this potentially was debunked or something like that, but I saw a video from this guy who was talking about, I guess, a game he worked on. I think he used to work for Blizzard. And the games he worked on and how poorly they did, even though they were great games, like comparatively. He said that all the games I worked on combined dwarfed in comparison to the sales of this one like astral horse mount in World of Warcraft. You're buying a fucking mount. Like, what's even the point? Like, I don't get it. Like, I mean, I can understand, like, I'll pay, you know, a few bucks, right? Like for a game. If I happen to be like a mobile game or something I play quite a bit, okay. I'll pay for no ads, for instance. You know, it's like a one-time payment. All right. You did kind of get me. You sort of scammed me, but at least I don't have to see any more ads. You know, you buy the game, fine. But I mean, just to spend all this extra money on shit, like, oh, well, now he's blue. Is this it? Is this your whole, that's all you got, man? I feel like I play too many video games. Like, you're investing money in, like, oh, well, she's got green streaks in her hair now. It's like, who gives a shit? Maybe if you're, I don't know, but even then, like, it's just so lame to me in every way. I do not understand why that is such big business. I know that China apparently is really big with microtransactions. Like, they don't have any problems with microtransactions. Like, they're a really big microtransaction culture. But it's just like, okay, so you're paying to win, then you're not winning shit. It's like a hack in a first person FPS game. You're like, okay, well, you didn't win though. You're not better. You just cheated. It's like, I hope that feels great, but there's no money on the line here. So, what did you do? You got stolen valor in a video game, dude. Kill yourself, pal. In the video game world, I meant. I didn't mean in real life, obviously. Let me see what you guys have been saying. That's pretty funny. Motherfuckers buy farts in a jar from E-Thots. Nothing can surprise me anymore. I mean, fine, you know, but that's niche, right? That's just a handful of freaks. Although, what was that girl's name? What was that little sexy little British girl's name? Her name was everywhere. Bella something? Damn it, I genuinely can't think of her name. But she sold, like, her bathwater or something like that, and, like, sold out. Not just sold it, like, oh, you know, sold out of it. Just like, ugh. God, guys, a lot of freaks out there. I guess you're not wrong. If she could sell out of her bathwater, they're going to sell a bunch of astral mounts in World of Warcraft. It's another game I don't understand. I used to play it. I got it. Really loved it. Started off in Teldrassil as the elf, right? Grind all the way to level 20. And then you realize that the rest of the game is exactly like what you just did. There are no variations. And it goes on and on and on. And you're just going to do slight variations on the quest you just did. You're just going to go, oh, kill 14 elks. Bring me back the horn of the, Yeti. But now the Yeti's purple instead of white. It's like, this is it? This is the whole game? Well, no. I mean, you could also get really good at leatherworking and make your own armor. It's like, wow, no. I'm done with this. I guess there's dungeon raids, but that's all still, it's all the same. Kind of just runs in circles. But yeah, I guess you make a Bella Thorne. Belle Delphine! That's it! Thank you, Sentient Dildo. Yes, Belle Delphine. That's her name. Where'd she go? She was everywhere. Whatever happened to her? She was like the Hawktua girl, man. She was like, maybe not quite that big, but she was Mimi all over the place. And actually, because she was doing crazy shit like this, and I remember seeing, because she got like simpy praise, but also lots of like, oh, this slut, these simps. It's a lot of good press for her. Yeah, she just disappeared. Didn't one hurt herself making herself farts who sell farts in a jar. There is a whole secondary market. There's a whole business between businesses of some publicist group or something selling stories to, or paying for stories in like the New York Post, Daily Mail that are OnlyFans stars related around like a totally bullshit story just to basically promote their OnlyFans. I see it every single day. Every single time I get on New York Post or Daily Mail, you'll see some innocuous, OnlyFans creator and what her boyfriend said when he found out that nothing, like complete gossipy bullshit, empty, hollow lies. But it'll be a hot picture of her chick and then the name OnlyFans next to it. And it's an ad for her OnlyFans. And like mainstream press. So I don't believe any of those stories. I think it's just one of those things that she would lie about just to get press. Because that's what you need. You need some kind of viral moment to launch your OnlyFans. And then, I mean, shit, some of these girls are set for life on just like a few months. Who was that girl? The Cash Me Outside girl? Bad Baby? She made millions on that website, on that platform. Millions of dollars. So a lot of other hoes are like, hey, I've got tits and no self-respect. I can make $1 million too. And a lot of them have. All right there, Story Poopus Cuber. Good to see you, sir. Thank you very much for popping in. Great to see you. Blast from the past. Blast from the Arctic past. Have a good night, buddy. Sentient Dildo. Oh, what a simp. Get him, boys. Get him. What a simp. I respect Belle Delphine. She's the OG internet simp wrangler. Well, as much as one can respect a hoe. She did know how to bring him in. And I remember she then made like the transition into hardcore, like actual pornography. And that went viral. And it was on, I believe it was on X, I think, or Twitter at the time. And I remember like being a little curious, just trying to explore the world around me, explore the richness and the culture, the depths of this fine world that we live in. So what am I to judge? Who am I to say? I went to go check it out. And I went in and I saw like, it was like her sucking a dick or something. And then in the comments, some dudes like they should have been on suicide watch. They were just like, how could you do this? Oh my God. Why? Like they were in love with her in their mind. They were in a one-way committed love relationship with this online whore. So that's much respect. Much respect. She wrote the playbook. Yeah. She crawled on her hands and knees with a butt plug in her ass so that you could walk with a butt plug in your ass and mouth. Show some respect to the elders. She can't be. What a crazy world we live in. Like she's probably still like she's probably like 22 or something, right? I mean, wasn't she like 19 at the time? Like it's not like she was very like how long ago even was that? But now it's a whole ass industry. Belle Delphine, she's 24 and she's from Cape Town, South Africa. Oh, well, what do you know? What do you know? What is she up to? I'm kind of curious. Let me see. Go to her ex. Go to her most recent post, 2 million followers, and she has not posted since May 31st. Just her looking like a furry, I guess. She has some weird hat on and them little titties out. Yeah, she just stopped posting. 2 million followers. Guess she just collects her checks from OnlyFans and is just living her best hoe-ass life. Good for her. I'm not hating on her. She never did anything to me. I think people were definitely, hating on the Simps. And the Simps should be hated on. I think the Simps, I saw this great thing from Chris Williamson about this particular phenomenon, simping. Give me 1 second. It's kind of like simping and hoeing. And why traditionally women don't like hoes and men don't like simps. And it's a very good, dating marketplace reason. So if there's women out there who are giving away that old coochie for free or for cheap, what that does across the coochie market is lower the value of that coochie, right? If you need to invest all these dates, I mean, back in the old world, you had to marry the bitch. But if you had to invest multiple dates and dinner and, buy her shit just to get in that coochie, then that coochie's got more value, right? But a lot of girls just, lower in the value. So the women who want to maintain the high value, who want to manipulate the market, don't respect the free market, they shame. Slut shame, right? Because it's just like, well, it's like now these women are going to be expected to put out. They will have a lower chance of finding a high status mate. And, reproduction falls off. Country plummets into economic depression, World War III, These women are trying to save the planet, basically. But that's the sort of lower monkey brain mentality of what's going on. Conversely, with men, when men simp, they lower the value of emotional commitment and the emotional part of relationships, right? Because if guys are out there giving it away for free, and if now we're expected to be like half a pussy like you, right? You've lowered the value, because that's supposed to be something that we give in exchange, for our seed being spread on this fine planet. I believe that was the scientific analysis, and I liked the sound of that. I thought that was pretty interesting. I thought that was pretty cool. Hoes should be changed. We have become degenerates. You know what? That reminds me of a really funny stand-up sketch from this guy, Ralph Barbosa. Really like him. Very funny. And I'm going to share it with y'all. I think you're going to get a kick out of it. I think y'all going to like it. Let me see here. All right. Everybody, ladies and gentlemen, coming to the stage, I present to you the Mexican sensation, Ralph Barbosa.
It's weird hearing my friends try to flirt with strippers. I'm realizing things. I'm realizing there's only 2 types of guys that flirt with strippers. There's dudes who flirt through money, just trying to show it off. With strip club, that's the place to do it, And then there's dudes who flirt from the heart. That one is sad. If they're flirting from the heart, it's because they ran out of money. You ever seen your boy get in a lap dance but just trying way too hard? Like, oh, baby, your body's so perfect. You're like a goddess. I swear you could have been a princess. I'll stop my boy. I'll be like, bro, it's too late for her. She needed to hear this in middle school. Saying what she's here for. Go to the ATM, man. My friends don't even know how to flirt, man. They just say things that they hear rappers say. They'd be like, I could be the one to save you from all this. I could take you away from it all. I'm like, man, strippers, they're living the life. They don't want to be saved. Go to the girl who's like the manager at a Marshall's. She wants to be saved bad.
God, oh my word. Thank you, Sentient Dildo. That's why you're the mod, baby. Appreciate it. All right. All right, so we've hit an hour. Is there anything else I wanted to talk about? Oh, yeah, no. Thanks, guys. You guys are the best. You guys are the best. I know. Boomed it. I boomed it. Anyway, shouts to Ralph Barbosa. That guy's funny. That guy is a funny, funny guy. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. Oh, so I was watching... do you guys know the show Kill Tony? With Tony Hinchcliffe, that kind of like stand-up show where they do bucket pulls of just like random open micers and then bring them into like the most hostile environment possible and let them do a minute of stand-up. That seems psychotic to me. I believe Danny Polishuk did it years ago and kind of got beat up, but Danny's come through. He's a funny comic now. But it just seems crazy. Well, they did a few shows at Madison Square Garden in front of like 18,000 people or something like that. Terrific show. So goddamn funny. I thought they were too mean. It can be. Actually, I found out my issue is not so much that they're mean. It makes me a little. I don't love it. And like Tony is just such a vicious little imp. He's scary. He's just a mean guy. But then again, he is giving people an opportunity. It's just like it's a gauntlet. You know, you got to earn your spot. Where was I going with that? Oh, I figured out what I don't like is, God, how bad some of these stand-ups are. When you see these bucket pulls, you're just like, is anyone good at stand-up? Is anyone funny? Is this even possible to be funny on stage? It's like they're so unfunny. They like warp space-time and like have destroyed comedy in that instant. In that little moment, they have destroyed it for a while until someone comes back up and saves it. You know, Shane does Trump or something. But it's just like, it's brutal. It's like a tractor beam of suck. Like you can't look away, but it's just so awful. So that is upsetting. But wait, where's it going? Oh yeah, so they're doing Madison Square Garden, and they did two shows. They put them out on YouTube just recently. Phenomenal. I mean, incredible sets. They had a Legends bucket where they would like have comics on there and pull out their names, like Jim Norton would be there, Louis J. Gomez, Jay Okerson, like guys who are like really well established comics who aren't going to go bomb. They're going to go do great. And so that added like some cachet and some like what's it called, like just like production value. So it wasn't just like a bunch of terrible open micers. It was like you're guaranteed to get some funny jokes in there. But man, having these open micers or these like young comics doing that shit in Madison Square Garden. Oh my God. That's got to be like jumping out of a plane or facing a firing squad. I can't imagine the adrenaline, the fear. And I'll be honest, most of them at least didn't fall apart and start shaking and stuttering, like, which is what I imagine I would do. They definitely some unfunny bucket pulls, especially on the first round. The second night there was some funny, much funnier comics. Even the bucket pulls did like okay, which I think is like, wow, you did okay. That's okay, considering. But then they had like their legends. They had like that guy Ari Matty who's really funny, and William Montgomery and so on. But man, like couldn't imagine the balls. It's ballsy to go on that show at the mothership, let alone in front of 17,000 people at Madison Square Garden. That is bananas. Like, respect to every single one of those maniacs who even signed up, let alone actually went. But I'll tell you, that was a terrific, terrific show. I loved it. I really, really enjoyed it. Like, it was so much fun, so funny. If you guys haven't seen it, I highly, highly recommend going and watching the Kill Tony, at Madison Square Garden. phenomenal entertainment. Phenomenal entertainment. Gays can be mean. Yeah, it's, I love making fun of Tony for being gay. I actually met Tony one time, and I kind of made a gay joke, but then he's like, that's a hack joke. I was like, I know, it was from this comic. He's like, shut up. I was like, all right, my bad. Because he told me, this is before like all the rumors, but he told me he used to rollerblade in LA. And I was like, it's like that comic's joke. It's like, when you signed up, did you have to tell your parents that you're gay? And he's like, that's hack. I was like, all right, sorry. He kind of, anyway. But I'm getting a little over it. It's just becoming too, like, it was funny when you just busted it out every once in a while, because he kind of does seem like a gay man, but now he's going with it, and it's just not as much fun. I think they should pull back on calling Tony gay for a little while, and then, jump back in a little bit, hit him with a nice good one, because it is fun, but it's not fun right now. They get some gems every now and then. The Estonian dude, that's Ari Matty. He's really great. He's been doing stand-up for a while, though. Like, he's like a comic, he's got like experience. It wasn't just like someone who got lucky. That chick in the wheelchair, I don't know the chick in the wheelchair. I know the dude. They do have some freaks like that are great. Like, there's that one dude who can like barely speak. I guess he has there's one dude who's like, I guess I don't know if he's got Down syndrome, but he kind of like stutters and pushes it out. There's another guy, I think he has cerebral palsy, and he kind of stutters, his words out. But they are like, man, hilarious. Like, genuinely hilarious. Like, that they could force through those physical impairments and bring out like hilarious comedy is like amazing. Hello, Steph. Good to see you, my nerdy home. What is crack-a-lackin'? Thank you for joining this episode of the MFer Podcast. I hope that you're doing well. Yeah, that palsy dude is hilarious. He really is truly hilarious. Not like charitably hilarious, like authentically very, very funny. Really like it. But yeah, that show was really spectacular. And it's introduced like a lot of cool comics. And having the privilege of living in the great city of Austin, Texas, the liberal mecca in the central Texas, I do get to see those guys. I've talked to Cam Patterson. I've talked to Tony Hinchcliffe. I just see those people around, and it's kind of cool. It's sort of sick. That's sort of one of the things I really like about living in the city. I think that's all I got about the Kill Tony at Madison Square Garden, other than go check it out. Last thing, I guess the last topic, because I did put it in the description, but then I realized I didn't really have all that much to say about it, but I'll say this. This weekend, alt-right, hateful bigot Matt Walsh put out a very propagandist, white supremacy-laden documentary called Am I Racist? And boy, do I want to see this. I really, really want to see it. But it's only in theaters. I don't really want to. Listen, there's some cool things about it, Steph. I know you left the great state of Texas. I know you career opportunities. I get it. But there's great stuff here. The Comedy Mothership's here. They've got juice bars, yoga, trans people, lots of them, apparently. But I still like Austin. It's definitely challenging. It's not without its challenges, but I do overall like it. Thanks, Mr. Freeze. Yes, sir. I've had this shirt for years. I've had this shirt for literally like almost 20 years. I love this shirt. I love that movie. Slapshot's a phenomenal film. But yeah, so Am I Racist? I really, really want to see it. But it's only in theaters, and look, here's the thing. I don't actually want to go to the theater to watch like a documentary. I know it's a comedy, but I want to see some shit blow up if I'm going to the theater. I want to have a rollicking good time. I think, yeah, maybe this would be fun. But the other thing, too, is being in Austin and looking as I do and going to go see Am I Racist? I feel like people would probably conclude I'm not there to criticize it for my TikTok channel. You know what I mean? So Not that I really give a shit about that, but I just, just socially uncomfortable for a little while. But, bro, it's Matt Walsh. Why would you want to see that retard? He gets some people to say some really dumb shit. I'm not like a fan of the dude. Like, I was watching some of his, like, just his personal podcast, and he did an interview with Jordan Peterson. Jordan Peterson, am I right? No, and nor should you. But he did like he just comes across like such a queef, and he takes like the weirdest stances sometimes. He's just like against like raw milk. It's gross. Tastes like a barn. It's just like, okay, man. Like, it's just such a weird thing to like. It was like all those all the Republican dudes on X yesterday being like, marijuana shouldn't be legalized and it ruined Colorado and blah 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 blah. It's just like, I mean, okay, guys. I mean, can we just stay focused? The president was almost killed again. Let's talk about that. So yeah, kind of a twerp. But I mean, dude, there are some incredible moments from that Was a Woman documentary. That's awesome. And that from some of the clips I've seen, like he got Robin DiAngelo to pay cash reparations to one of their producers. That's awesome. That's rules. And these people, like, I think it is good to, especially in their own words, explain how full of shit they are. I think that kind of rules. I think it's like good work. It's like solid journalism in a way. It's like instead, like you can read James Lindsay's cynical theories all you want, and you'll have a much better understanding of it. And that's valuable. But there's always like this, unless when you hear them say it and you corner them and you make them explain themselves in these most like explicit ways, I think that is just so much more effective to lampoon them and discredit them and kind of give people more permission, especially people who are just kind of like a little more status quo-y, to kind of dismiss them and dismiss some of the concepts they're pushing to the point of absurdity. I think it's valuable. You moved back to Texas. Oh, shit. What up, girl? That's what's going on. Oh, that's interesting. I'd like to hear about that. Maybe I'll talk to you off air there. But what was I saying? Oh, yeah. But I think it's just so effective. I think it's great. And it looks really funny. And, yeah, he's kind of a tool. But, I mean, he does good work. There's definitely, like, Hollywood actors that I'm like, ugh. That guy is such a tool. But on screen, I'm like, you can't deny it. That guy's great. So I don't have to love everything about you to appreciate your work. You know what I mean? It'd be cute if it were 2016. In 2024, though, just cringed. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think the problem with all this stuff is it comes out of conservative outlets. So you kind of almost end up with a captive audience anyway. It's like, it generally doesn't reach out into the mainstream, which is why I think like they need to learn how to do better. Because it's like, it's like I was saying years ago when the Gina Carano movie was on the Daily Wire. I'm like, you're not going to get mainstream audiences to go see a movie on a website that up on the corner you can buy a liberal tears mug. It's just not how it's going to go. It's just not going to shake out like that. People need to feel like it's not political. Not that it's like, oh, okay, now I'll take a right-wing movie instead of I was like, no, it needs to be apolitical. And I think anything you do associated with the Daily Wire, unfortunately, is going to have a political slant to it. So, yes, all your people will like it. But, they already kind of think that way anyway. So it's like you need to reach more people. But I don't feel like it's irrelevant at all. I don't feel like DEI training and decolonizing and white supremacy. I mean, that's what they're still doing it. I think it's totally relevant. Now, I feel like they've lost some of their market share, right? But also, what do you mean 2016? Were you not paying attention to the world during 2020? Granted, 4 years ago. But the whole world went insane over this type of stuff. Race stuff, DEI stuff, all that. I think it's very relevant, my friend. I think it's very relevant. I know you kind of have an axe to grind with these sort of right-wing sort of like pundits. And I get that. They're annoying. But sometimes they're right. Sometimes they do good work. Every once in a while, Candace Owens really clears the fences. Every once in a while, I was going to say Shapiro, but it's been a while. It's been a while since Shapiro's been good. Rubin, too. A lot of these people kind of, when they get success, they're just like, you're like, all right, never mind. But like Crowder back in the day, going on college campuses and doing all that stuff, debating college kids, like I thought that was good. That stuff was good. Can't stand those moral living lames. Yeah, I mean, look, they are annoying. Don't get me wrong. They are, and they always lose me at some point. There's always something they say where I'm like, oh, shut the fuck up. Just some sort of self-righteous posturing. Just, you're like, oh, this is why, dude. This is why you're unpopular with people. Because you're just like, you can't, like, you don't understand, like, concessions. You know? You don't understand, like, compromise. You know, you got to make some compromise. You got to kind of, like, chill, dude. Let that one go. The most important one is XYZ, right? That's important. We agree on that. Don't then be like, yeah, and also, like, shut the fuck up, man. It's just, you don't know how to win, you know? I saw Nick Weiser on X the other day put out something. And he's just like, the Republicans are like, they're like, it's like they're so afraid to win that they almost kind of, they're like expecting to lose. So they just start, immediately kind of start throwing it. Kind of subconsciously. I'm like, oh, they're like Jets fans. They're just so used to losing. They're almost uncomfortable winning. I was like, yeah, all right. That's hysterical. Robin is a slutard poser. Yeah, that's funny, dude. I mean, that's just funny. That's just good time. But you can hear it say all the time online. Yeah. But they're not being like mocked. I think you mean like the decolonized people. Yeah, but they're not being teased, which is funny. That's way funnier. I think that's just better. I don't know. I appreciate it. I really do like it. Ace Mr. Freeze. Very true. The contrary message has to come from your own side, or else people don't hear it. Or it just needs to come from a side that doesn't feel like it has an axe to grind. Like I got a friend hates Trump. Believes all the things about it. And it's just kind of like, he's like, dude, okay, listen, you like the free market, blah, blah. He's not a free market guy. This guy, Stockman, wrote a book about Trump and how Trump's war on capitalism. And I'm like, all right, like I'll look into it. And then this guy, he's also written like 5 other books trashing Trump. And you're like, this guy has an axe to grind. I can't take him seriously. I cannot trust the source. Because it's a biased source. He hates him. It's an emotional thing for this guy. So I can't even believe him if he's got criticisms because I don't trust him. And that's why I think like a lot of people who are like, even just moderate, you're never going to get the hardcore left. Don't even try. But like the moderates, right? You gotta get them. They matter. They're the ones who swing elections. And if you're trying to get them and you are truly on the right side of this particular issue, like you got to get them in a way that makes it comfortable and so that they're not suspicious. Right. And I do think like a documentary like this can do it. I mean, Matt Walsh has just kind of got such a, hard R Republican brand on his forehead, conservative, whatever. So it's a challenge. But I think that's how you got to approach it. I think you need to try to, don't go for the dunks like we dunk and all your boys are like, yeah, woo. Go for like the people who like don't know you. Try to get them. I think that's a better approach, personally. Such a deal. I don't know. It seems to me like the less people who see that shit movie, the better. Now it seems like you have an emotional axe to grind. I don't know. I haven't seen it. I want to see it. It looks actually genuinely funny and entertaining. I think it's a bold topic to tackle. I don't know. Maybe because you don't live here, you don't understand how sensitive race is in this country and how easy it is for all these grifters and stuff to exploit people's kind of like, I don't want to get in trouble, kind of feeling. But it is still very much a thing. And I think it does still need to be explored and talked about. New Bomb Turk. Holy shit. What's going on? Walsh repeatedly has bad takes, shits on portions of his followers. Yeah. I mean, sometimes you're going to just do that just because you're not a perfect human being and you're not one for one your audience, right? You're a beautiful rainbow. You're a beautiful rainbow. At least I am. Fucking Austin pussy. But he's dumb takes. Just asshole, obnoxious. Shut the fuck up, Walsh. Like that guy. Shut up, Gates. Shut up, Walsh. Sometimes it's just like, ugh, just dunking on going after the wrong, going too hard on the wrong things, it just kind of feels like him and like his boys agree on this, and everyone like big portions of his he'll like have these great wins with like What Is a Woman, And then, video game. It's like, dude, shut up, man. Why? Why are you doing this? Really lame. Good to see you, though, New Bomb. It's been a while. Just a reminder, every Monday night, I'll be here doing this, 8 p.m. Central. 55-year-old PC gamer Matt Walsh can F off on his takes on that. Yeah, dude, that was just... Bleh, shut up. I was talking about Gina's movies. Oh. Yeah. It didn't look great. It looked pretty thin. I feel like Daily Wire, maybe with the exception of like this Am I a Racist? Although, I mean, right, if you think about it, they went from, having that weird school shooter movie, which was clearly just something they purchased, had nothing to do with the Daily Wire didn't make it. Gina's movie, and then that, I don't know, a couple of stinkers. But now this movie's in theaters, and it's out there. I don't know if it's going to make a profit, but looks like some of their goals they tried to accomplish are working by making anti-woke movies. Ooh, let's go. But I don't know. I do feel like that whole train has really slowed down. I think they realize, making movies is actually very, very hard. And if you are considered to be white supremacist, it's going to be kind of hard to get some of the best technicians in the business to work with you. It is tough. But we'll see. I don't know what the future holds. Ace Mr. Freeze, it's so out in the open and flagrant that people will play the race card in America. It's just it's still a very big deal here. It's still a very sensitive topic. And I think if you can kind of quell some of the sensitivity about it, lampoon these race hustlers, help a few people not, fall for it, the better. It's not just a bad take. It's the smug attitude he has saying it. 100%. There's a guy, Destiny, you guys know. Total puke. Don't really agree with many of his takes, but he was on the Boys Cast, I don't know, 4 or 5 months ago, something like that. And I remember waking up and being like, fuck, like I love the Boys Cast. I get it once a week. And I'm like, Destiny, god damn it. And I went into the comments and oh my God, was there a lot of hate? And I was, one of them, but I'm like, all right, I love this show. I'll listen. And I'm listening to his takes and it's like, it's not like, they're not like the worst takes, but there's just something about him. He just has this attitude like he's just got all these things figured out. He's got all these things. He totally understands it. He's got it. He knows everything. And it's just like it's just like, shut up. It's just like you want to just like pour like a cup of milk on his head. They're like, you got the answer for that? You're just like, shut up. God, you're annoying. And so there is something to be said for just someone's just kind of like delivery. Just their sort of essence, you just like, I just don't like you. Whether you're right or wrong, I just don't like you. Just something about you. Wish you'd shut up. They could always get film text from Israel. That's funny. Yeah, but but you not no one in Hollywood though. You go over there, that's it, man. It's like being a communist in the 50s. It's like, beat it. Well, that's kind of sick though. That's what we should do. We should get all these commies out of Hollywood, man. Let's bring back McCarthyism, even though he had nothing to do with those inquiries. And there actually were communists in the film industry and the government, and it wasn't a witch hunt because there actually are witches in this particular analogy. Okay, guys. I think it's going to do it for this 45th episode of the MFer Podcast. I thank you, wonderful people, for sticking around with me and watching this show. Just as a reminder, this show is streaming on this channel, on the MFer Podcast YouTube channel, where, by the way, you will be able to see these episodes forever. However, this episode on this channel, on Foulball Productions, will no longer be available 24 hours after this stream, but it will be available forever over on the MFer Podcast YouTube channel. So go over there and subscribe, as well as Rumble. Anywhere you get podcasts, leave a review to help me boost my numbers so that more people can find me and listen to this wonderful, wonderful show. Yeah, that's going to do it. I really appreciate you guys hanging out, watching this show. And I'll be back here next week, following week, 8 p.m., same thing. Although the week after that, I'll be in Skankfest, so I don't know if I'll be able to. Probably won't make it back in time on that Monday to do the show. I'll try, but I don't think my flight gets back early enough. Maybe I'll do like a late stream, do a little Skankfest recap. I imagine I have no crystal ball, but I imagine I'll be pretty hungover. So, but definitely. Now you get my point about Walsh. I don't give a fuck if he's occasionally right. Yeah, okay, that's totally reasonable point. But Destiny's a waste of space. Yeah, fuck that dude. Cook. All right, but anyway, thanks guys. Really appreciate you. MFer Podcast next week, 8 p.m. and every Monday at 8 p.m. unless there's some reason I can't do it, but I'm going to try to stick to this schedule. Thank you so much for joining me. Oh, hell yeah. Check that out. Go check out Low Spec. He'll be streaming more Deus Ex on Rumble in an hour. Fuck yeah, buddy. I'll check in on that. I love that game. All right. The Extension Dildo says, have a queer one. That's not going to be my permanent sign-off. All right, y'all. Have a great night. Peace out.